Okay, here we are. So my first ever podcast. I'm very nervous. So basically, the Rams beat the Cowboys 20-17, and I know I'm late to this even because it was on Sunday, and I think today's a Wednesday, but whatever. So, yeah, the Rams beat the Cowboys 20-17, and it kind of sparked some Rams hope, even though it's just week one. A lot of people, I feel like, were sleeping on the Rams. I mean, it was just a bad year, and we were a field goal away from making the playoffs and going 10-6, and we just had a lot of mistakes from the season. If we hadn't let up a 3rd and long against the San Francisco 49ers later in the season, if we had scored a touchdown against the Steelers on offense, and there are many more. But yeah, just like a lot of things like that were just missed opportunities, and that comes with every team, but yeah, the Rams just had some missed opportunities, and we also saw a bit of a new play calling, which I think is very smart by Sean McVay, and basically he likes play action. That's what a lot of the younger head coaches do now, and yeah, he likes a play action style, and he still did that, but it's a shorter type of kind of play style. At the beginning, we saw a lot of runs, and we saw the couple of screen plays to Robert Woods, and we just overall saw shorter plays, which was working really well. And it's not an unstoppable type of offense, but it's very tiring and pretty hard to stop them. And I feel like it's a good type of offense for Jared Goff, as he's more of a system type of quarterback and a field general. And I feel like it works better for the offensive line, who has definitely regressed since 2018. But they've also gotten a lot better since 2019. They were ranked the 31st, and somehow least in sacks, though. But are ranked the 31st offensive line, and now they're probably around like the 20s, which is still not very good, but a lot better than last year. And I think as the season goes on, they'll grow more and more, which I'm very happy about. So the Rams clicked pretty well on offense. Jared Goff, he didn't have any touchdowns, but that was kind of just because of the play calls that were in the red zone. It was runs. And then Malcolm Brown went out there. He played his heart out. He did a pretty flippin' good job, and I think it was a good kind of starting debut. He's not really the 100% starter, but he's pretty much the starter over Cam Akers and definitely Darrell Henderson. Cam Akers had a pretty good game out there too, and I think Darrell Henderson could be a good receiving back. The wide receiver core was pretty good, especially Robert Woods. I think he had 105 yards, which is very good to start out the season, and they started out the game with screen pass to Robert Woods, I think, and it worked really well. Cooper Kupp had a pretty good game out there, 4 receptions for 40 yards, so 10 yards a reception. And there was Tyler Higbee, who also did pretty well. And there were also some missed opportunities, but overall it was a good offense. The offensive line looked better. Jared Goff looked a lot better. Everything was clicking a lot more. And then if we go to the Cowboys offense, they look better than Jason Garrett's coaching. Mike McCarthy, I feel like, is a better coach, but I don't think he's too different from Jason Garrett, which I'm kind of happy about. I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys. I don't think anybody is, unless you're a Cowboys fan. But there were a lot of mistakes by the Cowboys, they went for it on 4th down in the red zone and could have kicked a field goal to tie the game up, but they didn't. And then there was the offensive PI, which is very questionable. I feel like he pushed off. I feel like they were both kind of pushing off, but I'm glad that they pulled the flag, obviously. But the offense for the Cowboys was playing pretty well out there. So let's talk about the Rams' defense. The Rams' defense was actually surprisingly pretty good. Our weakest part is the middle linebacker core. And that wasn't great, but it was actually a lot better than I thought, because the type of style that Ezekiel Elliott is kind of like a up-the-middle power back type, and they didn't really do that a lot. They kind of bounced it to the outside a bit with Zeke, and the Rams worked really well with that, and they still had a hard time stopping Zeke, but it was still pretty solid performance by the defense on the run. Against the pass, they were playing really well. And Jalen Ramsey was able to get the incompletion against Amari Cooper. And there were just a lot of plays that made you think, are these Rams for real again? And yeah, it was just week 1, but who knows? I mean, a lot of people have kind of forgot about how the Rams have been and kind of have just canceled out the Rams. And yeah, they've lost some big key contributors, but they filled some of those holes in the draft and everything. And it was still very hard to stop the run, but against the pass, we were pretty good. The defensive line was surprisingly really good. We went from a really good defensive line to an average one, but Aaron Donald was like another version of himself, especially against probably the number 1 ranked offensive line in the league. Maybe it's the Colts, but, the Cowboys are definitely like top 3, top 5. They have a pretty good offensive line, so it was really good for the Rams to get that over them. And then the Rams secondary was playing, again, pretty well out there, and, everything was just kind of clicking for the Rams. The Cowboys defense was also pretty solid. They got some sacks on Goff, I think 1 or 2, and they did pretty well as well. But yeah, 1-0 Rams. I'm really happy that this is our start.